All right, we're live. I think. Are we live? Can everybody? Is everything working? While I send out some stream reminders. Yeah, I mean everything from my side is working. So let me know. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit late. I wanted to start at this time to be fair, but YouTube only allows you to set the starting date in intervals of 15 minutes. So I thought I'd pick a 8:15 in my time zone at least. So that that then I'll start a little bit later, but then some people are already here. So welcome. I'll quickly send out the last reminders for the stream. Real quick. All right, so how's everyone doing? The market right now is doing pretty good. I mean, Bitcoin is quite volatile. Like if we go to the, we'll check out the 1 hour time frame, of course, on Bitcoin. That's most that's nicest to check out. Bitcoin quite volatile. There's actually quite a lot of spiking going on right here. You can also kind of see it right here in the markets. Quite a lot of ups and downs. But overall, obviously, very, very bullish. So that's great. There's a bit of which and I'll take a look at the chat in a moment. I haven't looked at the chat yet. So if the audio is not doing good, then that's a shame. But there's a bit of a thing I don't really like, and that is the following, and that is that Bitcoin is making these higher highs, while the RSI is very sustainably making lower highs right here. I don't really like that, but then in the end, the circumstances right now are obviously quite good and quite different. So that might still be it's probably still fine. I mean, it's going to matter a lot what's going to happen. At the press conference, right? That's going to matter a lot, and that's what we'll take a look at in a moment. All right. Let's take a look at some of these. Let's take a look at the chat. All of a sudden, I see my complete name. I'm not sure where that came from. Yeah, let's see. All right, so by the way, just the idea of the stream for those of you who have been here before, you already know. But in a moment, we'll take a look at the Federal Reserve live stream, and basically what I'll do is we'll watch the live stream together, kind of like a viewing party, similar to what I did with the elections. I stayed up for the elections, which was pretty interesting to say the least. I did not trade, which was a mistake in the end, but all right. But no, it's we'll take a look at the press conference. I think that's most interesting because we already know that the interest rate itself has gone down, and that also was already expected, right? I believe there was like a 97% chance that the interest rate would drop down to 4.75. So maybe we're seeing a bit of a sell the news effect, but I personally think it was completely priced in already. Now, what's not priced in yet is their view on the monetary policy for the next period of time. All right, so that's going to be interesting. How do they see that? Do they anticipate more rate cuts over the course of this year, over the remainder of this year, meaning December? Or do we have to wait for next year for some more rate cuts? Because the more rate cuts, the sooner, the better. So that's kind of what we'll try to listen to, and then when they say interesting things, I'll quickly mute it and I'll tell you what I think of that. And at the same point of time, I will also keep an eye on Bitcoin. And then at the end, and when the press conference is almost over, we can take a look at some cryptos. Let's see if there's some chats we can talk about. Doge breakout. Is Doge breaking out? No, not really. I mean, Dogecoin is just holding support here. Dogecoin, it should get some momentum soon. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Grass, yeah, I mean, grass. Look, I'm hearing a lot of different stories about this. I personally farmed it for like 9 months, and I got an airdrop of $100. So I wasn't too happy with that. But overall, I mean, if you take a look at this volume, and most of the things I read about grass in terms of what it does, etc., is bullish. It's like 66-33, right, in terms of percentages, because there's also people very, very much against this. For now, I would say I'm very bullish on this, and I would call for at least $1 billion in market cap. But it's I don't know enough about it to really give you my full thoughts on this and to do a big price prediction. But I'll probably do I'll probably make a video on it soon. I wanted to make a video on it after launch. Did not do it. I'm not sure why, but I'll probably make either a prediction or some sort of a review on this later. But for now, it looks bullish. Obviously, I mean, I think that's I think that's not a strange thing to say. $3, obviously psychological resistance, but should be fine. Sui all-time high. Is Sui at all-time highs? Oh, wow. Oh, it really is. My browser is lagging, though. That's great timing. Yeah, it actually made... No. Oh, yeah, earlier today. Sui, I'll probably buy Sui if we actually get that breakout above 2.35, by the way. Some sort of a short-term thing, something like this. If we actually get the breakout here above the previous all-time high, I think you can take some sort of a scalp like this, right, into 2.75 or into 2.7. Looks quite good. Saga is still bearish, right? Or am I? I don't even have Saga, I think. Oh, I do. Wow. No, Saga. Yeah, Saga is slowly turning bullish again. For me, this level right here at 2.2 and 2.25 is still too strong to call this bullish. Break above that and we're good. But until then, I would call this neutral or bearish even on the 12-hour time frame. Okay, quickly Pepe before we have to look up the live stream because we cannot miss that. Pepe, kind of same thing. I would say this is consolidating. It's consolidating. We have a strong resistance level right here, which in my eyes, the way I think about the markets, it's a matter of time before we break above this, right? So right now we are consolidating, probably based on what we do in the next 24 hours. We will either get a breakout very, very soon, aka in the next week, and rally up to that next level right here at 1300 and 1350, or we will reject. And for now, I would say it is a little bit more likely to reject here. But then again, I'm also quite conservative in my price targets, right? So this might just be a little bit too conservative. Solana is absolutely doing great. $200 incoming. I called it, by the way. All right, let's look up the live stream because otherwise it's not going to be all right. I still have to plug in my headset, etc. All right, so like I said, we will have to test the audio together. So please help me with that. We'll test the audio together. We'll take a look at the live stream, and then at the same point of time, I'll give you my thoughts on what they're saying, and then at the same time also what it means for the markets. Markets are going to be very volatile. So if you have any trades open with a very tight stop loss and it's in profit, just de-risk it. Stop loss to entry, and please wait for new trades until 30 minutes in the future. Oh, there it is. All right, let me. I'm going to be too late, I think. Do you hear anything? Okay, yeah, we have to test this. All right, let me know how the audio is.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. The economy is strong overall and has made significant progress toward our goals over the past 2 years. The labor market has cooled from its formerly overheated state and remains solid. Inflation has eased substantially from a peak of 7% to 2.1% as of September.
Is
We
the
are committed
audio...
to main-
Wait. Is the audio all right? All right, well let's look at it then.
Inflation to our 2% goal. Today, the FOMC decided to take another step in reducing the degree of policy restraint by lowering our policy interest rate by a 1/4 percentage point. We continue to be confident that with an appropriate recalibration of our policy stance, strength in the economy and the labor market can be maintained, with inflation moving sustainably down to 2%. We also decided to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at a solid pace. GDP rose at an annual rate of 2.8% in the third quarter, about the same pace as in the second quarter. Growth of consumer spending has remained resilient, and investment in equipment and intangibles has strengthened. In contrast, activity in the housing sector has been weak. Overall, improving supply conditions have supported the strong performance of the U.S. economy over the past year. In the labor market, conditions remain solid. Payroll job gains have slowed from earlier in the year, averaging 104,000 per month over the past 3 months.
Oh, excuse me. What have I done? All right, wait. I think it's also on YouTube, and that's better because then I can. I'm sorry.
It's notably higher than it was a year ago.
This is
but
better
has
because then I
edged
can.
down over the past 3 months and remains low at
Then I can switch
4.1% in October.
like that.
Nominal wage growth has eased over the past year, and the jobs to workers gap has narrowed. Overall, a broad set of indicators suggests that conditions in the labor market are now less tight than just before the pandemic in 2019. The labor market is not a source of significant inflationary pressures. Inflation has eased significantly over the past 2 years. Total PCE prices rose 2.1% over the 12 months ending in September, excluding the volatile food and energy categories.
Yeah, I mean, so far he's basically saying nothing. It's not bearish, all right? I would say it leans towards being bullish, but he's not saying much at the moment. If he says something that's very interesting or that goes kind of against what he has already said before, I'll tell you, but for now, still neutral.
Markets.
Or bearish. Bullish, excuse me.
Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. We see the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals as being roughly in balance, and we're attentive to the risks to both sides of our mandate. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a 1/4 percentage point to 4.5% to 4.75%. This further recalibration of our policy stance will help maintain the strength of the economy and the labor market and will continue to enable further progress on inflation as we move toward a more neutral stance over time. We know that reducing policy restraint too quickly could hinder progress on inflation. At the same time, reducing policy restraint too slowly could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. In considering additional adjustments to the target range for the federal funds rate, the committee will carefully assess incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. We are not on any preset course. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting. As the economy evolves, monetary policy will adjust in order to best promote our maximum employment and price stability goals. If the economy remains strong and inflation is not sustainably moving toward 2%, we can dial back policy restraint more slowly. If the labor market were to weaken unexpectedly or inflation were to fall more quickly than anticipated, we can move more quickly. Policy is well positioned to deal with the risks and uncertainties that we face in pursuing both sides of our dual mandate. The Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission.
Prediction.
We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to our discussion.
All right. What a waste of time. We'll take a look at we'll take a look at the questions in a moment. But so far, he's saying absolutely nothing that we did not know so far. Which is, I mean, in general, I think this could be considered as bullish because in general he's saying that the monetary policy that they have started with the 50 base points cut in September, that's still fine, that's still doing good. All the economic data is still looking in line with what they want to see. So what that means is that they at least think that cutting the rates further is the way to go. So in that sense, that's bullish, but that means that there's nothing new here. So far, all right. So sometimes with these questions, we actually get new information. So I do kind of want to, I do kind of want to listen to this, but it's a little bit boring, right? And we'll listen to that. We'll listen to it for a moment, all right? If you don't want to listen to it, I understand. Then I'll see you all in my next videos. But we'll listen to this in a moment. Then we'll talk about Bitcoin and what I expect from Bitcoin, and then we'll talk about some altcoins that are interesting. That's what we'll do right now.
Those economic effects would be included in our models of the economy and would be taken into account through that channel.
Nick.
Chair Powell, Nick Timros from the Wall Street Journal. Roughly 1 year ago, when the 10-year Treasury was flirting with 5% and 30-year mortgage rates were near 8%, you noted how higher borrowing costs if they were sustained and 30-year mortgage. Roughly 1 year ago, when the 10-year Treasury was flirting, given that you've said you believe policy is restrictive and the Fed is now dialing back that restriction, are the growth risks presented by higher U.S. Treasury yields today any different from those you identified 1 year ago when inflation was still meaningfully above your target?
So I would just say this: we've watched the run up in bond rates, and it's nowhere near where it was, of course, a year ago. I guess the long run rates are well below that level. So we're watching that. Things have been moving around, and we'll see where they settle. I think it's too early to really say where they settle. Ultimately, I'm sure we've all read these decompositions of what, and I certainly have, but it's not really our job to provide our specific decomposition. I will say, though, that it appears that the moves are not principally about higher inflation expectations. They're really about a sense of more likelihood of stronger growth and perhaps less in the way of downside risks. So that's what they're about. We do take financial conditions into account if they're persistent and if they're material. Then we'll certainly take them into account in our policy. But I would say we're not at that stage right now. It's just something that we're watching. And again, these things don't really have mainly to do with Fed policy, but to do with other factors.
Yeah, I'm going to take the risk and say I'm going to take the risk and say that he's not going to say anything anything new. I doubt it. I think we've heard it so far. So for those of you who are tuning in right now, first of all, welcome to the stream. Quick summary, very quick summary, because there's not much news. Federal Reserve interest rate decision went down from 5% to 4.75 as expected. The next decision, I think, is in December. Yeah, the 18th of December. So in a little bit more than a month. The monetary policy so far, it seems like it's staying the same. All right, in that we will get more rate cuts, and that they will continue the monetary policy that they started, or at least they started to kind of execute in September. So that's overall that's bullish. But the meeting and the whole press conference and the whole interest rate decision right now is neither a reason to get all the way up to 78, 79, and 80,000, nor is it a reason to drop down all the way to 72,000. Unfortunately, I think that this meeting was nothing. I think we will just continue on the way we've gone so far, and in my eyes, that is bullish. All right. But no, I mean, if you take a look at these markets right here, if you take a look at the 12-hour time frame, as you can see it right here, I think it's very, very clear that Bitcoin is very bullish. I would expect a pullback into this level right here between 73 and at least 71,800 at some point of time. So I do think you should be prepared for that, but at this point, I'm not sure when that's going to happen. It seems most likely here, at least in my eyes, that we're going up to 78, 79, 80,000 first before potentially getting some sort of a pullback. But don't hold me against that, please. Ethereum, kind of same thing, broke out, holding that. So for now, I would say everything still looks more bullish than bearish. But the interest rate decision that we just heard, I don't think is going to matter that much. I don't think that's going to change anything. For now, at least, all right? Maybe he's still saying something while we are no longer listening. But that's, I doubt it. Scala, what do you mean with dovish or hawkish? That's basically, I mean, dovish, it's you should see it as a hawk and a dove. What a dove does is it just leaves people, it leaves animals to be and leaves them peaceful. A hawk attacks, all right? So when the central bank is hawkish, and hopefully I'm not mixing these up, I don't think so. When the central bank is hawkish, they start to increase interest rates, and they start to really get into the economy, and they try to kind of attack the economy, bring it down to bring down inflation, while dovish is basically letting the economy do its thing, bringing down interest rates, no longer influencing it that much. So hopefully the economy recovers. So that's where it comes from. Yeah, fetch. So some people were talking about fetch. We'll talk about some altcoins now. So if you have any altcoins that you want me to look at, then let me know. Now fetch. Look, fetch might have underperformed, but if you compare fetch to most altcoins, and the levels that they were at, the fifth of, well, fetch is it's doing fine in my eyes. We broke this downtrend. I think fetch is actually going to be a decent performer in the medium term, from now on out, I would say. Oh, guys, I do almost have to go. My club is playing. Is anybody watching? Anybody going to watch football? Ajax is playing, so that's obviously what we have to check out. Hopefully, we will continue the win streak. But let's take a look at some more altcoins. So Solana, ridiculously bullish in my eyes. Sol BTC is also very strong, as you can see right here. So Solana, like I also said with Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think Solana is going into the 200s. I could be wrong, of course. I can always be wrong, but it looks like it. I mean, 4-hour time frame here has broken out. Momentum is growing. Volume is ridiculously high. The fundamentals are doing great. So looks good. Looks very good. Yeah, Ajax is going to win this one. Easy one. What do you call it? The records they've had in the last couple of games has been great. They're not playing the best football that they've ever played, of course, but it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better than it was. Please, man, why are you spamming something? I'm not going to cover something when you're spamming. 4-0 Ajax. Who are they playing? Because they're switching around all the teams so much. It's so I wonder which team they're playing for the game. Is it already known? Lineups. Broy. Yeah, I think 3 or 4-0. They're playing with a good team. Gods has been playing great. Brobby versus a weaker team is going to be great. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's all right. So let's take a look at some guys. Come on, don't spam these coins. I'll take a look at Mu, even though I don't want to because people are spamming it. Mu right now looks neutral. Because we obviously broke the downtrend here, but we still have this resistance level right here around 1 cent. So I would say Muse is kind of consolidating here. Most likely direction, obviously, in these markets is going to be bullish, but this is not a coin I would trade. It's a bit of an awkward structure here, I would say. So yeah, Ethereum. I said this before. Ethereum right now, it's just key that we'll be able to hold this level at 2,750. You can very clearly see it's been ranging. It broke out of that range, so that's amazing. If we can now actually hold 2,750 as support, we're going to be very, very bullish, because then we have a breakout and then we're at 3,100 before you know it. And Ethereum BTC has also been performing a little bit better. So I think in general, Ethereum, it looks good. I'm still a little bit cautious on it because it's very early since we've broken out. So it could still turn into a fake out, but overall, no, okay, so they said nothing interesting. to be honest, they said nothing. They're basically going to continue the monetary policy as they stated it in September, and the interest rate is down, but that was also to be expected. Pepe I covered before. Main level is 1100. I don't think we're going to break out above that yet. I think it's more likely that we'll get some sort of a pullback, and that will break above that later. So if I would have to put that in arrows, would be something like this. But personally, if we drop back down to this level down here, I'll buy. Maybe if we'll break out above 1100 as well. Depends a little bit on the market circumstances. Phantom, I'm a very big fan of Phantom. Right now, consolidating in my eyes. All right, I know I say that a lot, but you can very clearly see that Phantom has been mostly consolidating here in this area. And I expect, usually I expect a structure like this to continue. I expect the same for Phantom, but with Sonic coming up, eventually, somewhere in November, I think, we are going to break out above 75 cents, and we're going to rally up higher into this level right here, at least at 95 cents. But I'm not sure if we're ready for it right now. I think, again, same with Pepe, I think it's more likely we're going to do some sort of a pullback before breaking out. But the breakout for Phantom, like Phantom is one of my favorite coins. I think we're going to break out. I just don't think we're going to do it in the next weekend, right? It's quite soon. We've been quite bullish so far. Rubel, I covered Solana just now. In short, we're going for 200. Robin, at the moment, Sui or Dogecoin, I would say Sui. Sui is showing much more momentum here. I personally, I would not buy right now. I would wait for either a little bit more confirmation or a bit of a deeper pullback. But Dogecoin, see, the thing I'm kind of scared with Dogecoin is that obviously its main catalyst was the whole election, right? And the whole tie with Elon Musk. So now that Trump has won, the question is, well, what's next? And hopefully we hear something about that Department of Government Efficiency, so that we can actually get some new momentum going. But that's an uncertainty. And then we're also losing momentum. So Dogecoin, I'm not sure. I think short term it's still more likely that we will see some more downsides into this very strong support level around 17.5 cents. That's what I do want to say. So yeah, let's. I'm going to end the stream, guys. Ajax is playing in 10 minutes. We've covered basically everything you need to know. I tried to cover some of the altcoins that were asked about the most. But in general, kind of to summarize for those of you who have tuned in a little bit later, we had the interest rate decision. Interest is down as expected. We had the Federal Reserve press conference, which so far as we have seen together, not much has been said there. So overall, I think the market as it has been moving for the last week is going to continue in that fashion, right? So what I expect is more upside, at least for now. I'm not someone who is going to tell you we're going to go up only. I'm too realistic for that. I don't expect that. But for now, I still do think that we're going to make higher highs. And then when we're at 78, 79, 80,000, then I think we need to be a little bit more worried for a deeper pullback. Hopefully that pullback is going to be with a bearish Bitcoin dominance. That would be great. But I'll keep you updated on that, of course, in my daily updates. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for those. I will see you all in my videos tomorrow. All right. Make sure before you go, make sure to join the Telegram. Make sure to join the Discord. It's free. We have great communities in there. Hopefully I'll see you there. So we can talk some more crypto in there. Also, if you have some more questions, etc., it's best to join those, because YouTube, with the comments, there's so many bots, and whenever there's a new bot and I ban a certain word to go against that bot, they change up that word slightly. So join the Telegram, join the Discord. I'll see you there, and I'll see you all in my next stream, in my next video.